electrical, mechanical, electrical to environment. It was very challenging, but Dr. Anil Sasabuddeji has inspired them. And every year, many campuses are applying for award, and their jury member always struggle to decide who is the best. So this is the best gift to the India, sir. And because of you, the many campuses have reduces their carbon impact, their impact on the local environment. And this is the real service to Mother Nature and nation as well as the nature. Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Thank you so much. Now we have next speaker, and Dr. Fernando Llorca Castro. He is the Ambassador of Republic of Costa Rica in the United States of America. He has learned a lot of degree from different countries and from different purposes and different subjects. But best part of that, he has associated with the environment, with the nature, and his passion toward the nature is very inspiring. He also spoke at our previous conference, and his word was very inspiring. And now in the New York, the UNG is taking place, and every ambassador and diplomat in Washington DC and New York is busy in the UNG. In spite of that, he has shared his valuable time with us because of his passion toward the environment, toward the education, toward the future. He is not only representing Costa Rica to United Nations, but representing the culture and the values and sustainability policies of Costa Rica to the United States as well as the world. I'm sure that his word will be very inspiring to us. And I welcome Dr. Fernando to share your views. Dr. Fernando.
Well, hello, Honorable Bendra Rawat,
so
founder, director of Green Mentor. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. It depends on where are actually all of you located today. It's a great honor to be part of this Green Mentor 5th New York City Green School Conference and to share the panel with such a great authorities and experience, professors and political authorities that has been promoting environmental education in their countries and at the same time all around the world. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Costa Rica is celebrating 200 years of independence life. As a country, we are proud of the values we have promoted. We have a strong and world-renowned tradition of peace and political stability. We have a strong democracy that has existed for over 132 years old. Costa Rica is proud to celebrate 33 years without a military and 80 years of social benefit that guarantee basic human rights, including a well-recognized public healthcare system that offers universal coverage to all our citizens and residents. According to the World Health Organization and the first System of Health Account report of 2019, the average national healthcare spending was around 8% in the last 5 years, whereas healthcare spending in Costa Rica continues 7.8% of the national budget. The current population of Costa Rica is around 5 million. 32% of this population are individuals between 15 and 34 years old. By 2021, the labor pool expected will represent a 45% of Costa Rican population. Labor force also increased 1.5% between 2010 and 2017, according to the National Stat Institute. 40% of labor force are women. There remains ample opportunity to education to improve these stats significantly. Costa Rica is at the top of the list in human capital in Latin America and 29th place in the world. Consider that the workforce possesses an average level of experience and general set of skills and standard population health, according to the 2018 Global Competitiveness Report and the Human Development Report 2018, with 97.4% of adult literacy rate. Since 1870, basic education in Costa Rica is free and mandatory for all children, with a traditional 5 years academic program and vocational education for 6 years program. This is very important. It was mandatory for both boys and girls since 1870. The public spending on education in 2018 represented 7.36% of our total gross domestic product. Costa Rica is #1 in English proficiency across Latin America, and Costa Rica workforce can provide services abroad in 13 languages. In 2018, the Costa Rican government made a commitment to turn Costa Rica a truly bilingual country, teaching English as a second language a national priority. The initiative will be assumed by the Ministry of Education, the National Training Institute, and private sector schools, which are very important in our country. Additionally, Costa Rica has maintained a strong national environmental state policy of over 80 years. We have been investing in policies that promote sustainable development. In that regard, the country has tried for decades to foster investment policies that are environmentally friendly and socially inclusive. Thus, we have promoted ecotourism, an electric grid that is fed by almost 100% of renewable sources. The country has 26% of its territory under some type of environmental protection, including multiple national parks and reserves. We instituted a moratorium for the exploitation of oil, and we are investing now in transforming our transportation system toward one that is more friendly with the environment. We are also working to create better synergies among the private sector and the academia, trying to provide the best and right talent. Human talent is the key question to develop a country. We endorse the National Plan of Decarbonization of Costa Rica, 2019-2050, which offers a roadmap to boost the modernization of our economy by generating jobs and revitalizing their growth from a model based on the 3 Ds: decarbonization, digitalization, and decentralization in electricity production. Global society will only deliver one of the commitments of the Paris Agreement if a new level of political ambition among governments is matched by an equal level of commitment and determination from the world's financial community. To improve environmental policies that we have promoted in a long term, we know environmental education is very important to achieve sustainable development. Costa Rica has been implementing specific strategies to environmental learning at formal education, conservation programs, and ecotourism as one of the main economic activities in our country. Since the 80s, the National State School curriculum requires environmental learning as part of both primary and secondary education, while state-run national conservation areas provide informal learning opportunities for both domestic and international visitors with a permanent national park program. In the state-funded formal education sector, environmental education topics first began to be introduced in the Costa Rican national curriculum in 1977. The first National Environmental Education Master Plan was published in 1987, and an Office of Environmental Education was formally established as separate division of the Ministry of Education in 1993. The office is responsible for coordinating programs across the nation on issues such as solid waste management, population growth, sustainable watershed management, and energy conservation. They also organize environmental clubs in schools nationwide and coordinating with the government and non-governmental organizations. Other innovative projects include, for example, a sister school experiment established in 2002, which pairs primary school students in the United States and Costa Rica for shared environmental learning experiences over the internet. Teaching about environmental issues also was introduced to university programs. In 1975, the National University founded a School of Environmental Sciences, which includes an environmental education program, and in 1994, the National Council of Vice Chancellor created an inter-university commission for environmental education, which works to environmentalize all the public universities. Also, secondary schools program were modified. In 2003, 4 of the national state secondary schools offer specializations in ecotourism, as well as 2 others that offers a new environmental studies program. Those experiences has been multiplied across the years. The new school's explicit mission was to create nature lovers who will actively share their love of nature with others after graduation. The first national park of Costa Rica was created in 1955. The Poás Volcano National Park, inspired by the national parks created in the United States. There are currently 30 national parks managed by the SINAC, which is the National System of Conservation Areas, created in 1995. Those national parks are actively used to training teachers to teach students with specific programs, visits, as part of their academic program in primary, secondary, and technical schools. In Costa Rica, national media, including newspapers, televisions, and radio broadcasts, routinely deal with issues of current environmental concerns or promote participation in conservation projects. Radio and television broadcasts have proven an specialized use tool for reaching isolated rural populations where access to environmental learning and resources are limited. Ecotourism and the concept of a green economy is another way of making people understand that we must take care of our environmental resources. Costa Rica has been able to develop an international business based on ecotourism. After suffering some of the highest rate of deforestation in the world in the 70s and 80s, Costa Rica was regrown large areas of its tropical rainforest between 1940 and 1943. Costa Rica lost approximately 50% of its original forest. It's now the only tropical country to actively stop and reverse deforestation. Costa Rica successfully reversed deforestation by restoring forest cover from 24.4% in 1985 to almost 60% in 2021 through implementation of national environmental protection policies in the 90s that includes portfolios of protected areas, payments for ecosystem services programs, and ecotourism. Although small, the country contains more than 6% of the world's biodiversity, despite covering only about 0.03% of the surface of the globe. Using the 4 pillars of sustainable tourism, sustainable management, socioeconomic impacts, cultural impacts, and environmental impacts, the government ensure the Costa Rica's tourism attraction are centered on respecting the environment and the population to learn to keep it that way. In 2019, Costa Rica was named Champion of the Earth by the United Nations for its direct role in protecting nature and fighting climate change. The Costa Rican Tourism Institute developed a country-wide certification for sustainable tourism back in 1997, which provides tourism companies with guidelines to manage their business in a sustainable way. A great tool to help businessmen and women to learn about taking care of nature and environmental affairs. In the years since the tourism model development, surveys have shown that 63% of United States travelers are more likely to consider destinations trying to conserve and protect natural resources, while 75% are more likely to consider sustainable destinations. And a study published in the Proceeding of the National Academy of Science found that by the year 2000, protected natural areas in Costa Rica reduced poverty in neighboring communities by 16% by encouraging ecotourism. In conclusion, Costa Rica's network of diverse approaches to environmental learning in official and informal setting and addressing a wide range of topics offers significant opportunities for both young people and adults to learn about and engage with environmental issues in their communities and within wider national discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. It is great to hear you. And I believe that the vibrant democracy of Costa Rica has considered environment as a stakeholder. And because of accepting environment as a stakeholder, Costa Rica has achieved a lot and become the nature champion, earth champion by United Nations. And having 6% of biodiversity of the world is a great opportunity of learning, because learning from biodiversity is ultimate learning. So thank you so much. And the way you have explained the Costa Rica, and I'm sure that this speech will attract more travelers to Costa Rica for who want to study sustainability and sustainable traveling, sustainable tourism and ecotourism, and bringing nature in every process of business practices, livelihood and culture is need to be learned from the Costa Rica. Thank you so much for eco-governance, the model of eco-governance. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now we have the next speaker is Dr. Chandrika Bahadur. And Chandrika Bahadur is the